Okay, number 19 gave a lot of people trouble because they didn't follow the instructions. It's not that they couldn't do the problem, they just weren't sure what to do and what they were asking. What they're asking for is, give me the fraction when you set up tangent. And then change that fraction into a decimal. That was it. It didn't ask you to find the angle. A lot of you went further and found the angle. So if you got this wrong, it's probably because you found the angle measurements and it didn't ask you for that. It asks you for just the fraction. So if you're dealing with f here, then this is opposite, this is the hypo, and this is the adjacent. And in the problem they ask for the tangent of f. Well, the tangent of f is opposite over adjacent. That was 6 over 8, which is 3/4. So that would get you a point rated 6 over 8 or 3/4. And if you type that in the calculator, if you don't know 3/4, that's 0.75. Whoops. Okay? That's it. You just got 2 points. One for doing this and one for doing that. They didn't ask you to find f. Okay. Now, I'm going to erase some stuff here. That's if you're doing angle F. Okay? But what if you're doing angle G? Okay, let's change this to green. So what if I'm doing angle G? Well, then this is opposite, this is adjacent, and this is hypo. And they're asking for the tangent of G. So the tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's 8 over 6. Which is 4/3, which is a decimal is 1.3333, and it goes on forever. Okay? So you get, again, a point for one of those two fractions in that. And that's all you had to do for 19. Okay, I just copied the picture from number 19, but it has different numbers on it, but otherwise it's the same. So you have F, G, and H. And they changed the numbers to 16, 30, and 34. And again, this time now they want the sine of G and the cosine of G. So let's do that. Here's G. I'll put that one in green. So this is opposite, this is hypo, and this is adjacent. And they said they wanted the sine of G. So the sine of G, sine is SOH, S-O-H, opposite over hypotenuse. So that was 30 over 34. And you can reduce that to 15 over 17, but it's not necessary. And then they said, give me the decimal. So 15 divided by 17, or 30 divided by 34. The decimal is 0.8824. If you've done that, there's a point, there's a point. What's the cosine of it now? What's the cosine of G? Well, the cosine of G is the adjacent over hypotenuse, so 16 over 34, which reduces to 8/17. Okay, we're done that. Now we just have to figure out what the decimal of 8 divided by 17 is. We're not asking for the angle, we're asking for the decimal that could have been written instead of the fraction. 4706. And if you did that, you would get a point for that, and that's 4 points. And now you just have to realize that when they ask you for the sine of f and the cosine of f, that means this changes to opposite and this changes to adjacent, which means sine of G is cosine of f, and cosine of G is sine of f. So you got all the same numbers. So there's 4 more points to realize that. You could rewrite it, but it's going to be the exact same things. Okay, on number 21, I kind of pre-drew it a little bit. You have a skateboard enthusiast wants to lay down a ramp on the side of a hill to the sidewalk. The top of the hill is 20 feet above the sidewalk. So this is 20 feet right here. Okay? and the ramp would be 44 feet long. There's my ramp right here. Right along there is the ramp. Okay? If the angle the ramp makes with the ground is greater than 20 degrees, here's the ground and the ramp. This is the angle here. I'm going to call it a Greek letter called theta. Looks like a circle with a sideways line through it. Theta. If theta is greater than 20 degrees, it's unsafe. The guy's going to lose. It's going to get too much speed. He's going to wipe out, and it's going to be game over. Is the ramp safe? So the question is it safe? So we need to find out that angle. So let's label our triangle here. So here's the hypotenuse. Here's the opposite, and here's the adjacent. So when you look at this here, I have opposite and I have hypo. So that's O and H. So that must be so. So I need a sine. So let's do it. The sine of theta equals the opposite over the hypo. So how do you undo sine? You arc sine. So you do the same thing over here. So I'm going to get theta is the arc sine of 20 divided by 44. That's what I have to figure out in the calculator. So I'm going to do that right now. And theta then is that angle. Arc sine 20 divided by 44 is 27.0 degrees. So let's look at it. This is unsafe. Anything bigger than that is unsafe. 27 is bigger than it. So the answer would be the angle is approximately 27 degrees, which is greater than 20 degrees. So it's unsafe. There's your answer.